guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video where we're going to go over a few things that have changed or what are possibly going to be very big changes on the Iroc-Z. So a couple people have commented on the last video or two that I uploaded about the Corvette and want to see more Iroc content, and I do have stuff coming. Thing is, I was at a little bit of a crossroads as to what exactly I'm going to do with it. As if you've been watching and following along, you know that I've got a replacement 10-bolt rear end for it, as well as some exhaust to kind of start fixing up the exhaust on the car a little bit because it is getting pretty rough. The only thing I've done to the car since the last video where we went out on a frozen lake with the ice chains is actually take off the mud flaps. So I did make the car, in my opinion, look a little bit better by peeling those suckers off, and I'll be tossing those. It seems like when it's above freezing, the car is actually pretty level-headed and runs really good and will start right up, and I'd pretty much drive it wherever at this point. There's no new problems or anything like that, but what was a really interesting recent development is I was reached out to by a company called MaXpeedingRods, and what they do offer for many makes and models of vehicles is turbochargers. They ended up running a promotion on a GT45 turbocharger. This is from MaXpeedingRods. You can see them at MaXpeedingRods.com, just like it's spelled here. I'll also have a link in the description. They specialize in rotating assembly parts for engines, turbochargers, suspension, carburation, you name it. They have a very interesting selection of parts for different makes and models of vehicles, but they also have a big selection of universal turbochargers from small 4-cylinder engines to V8 engines. This is their kit that they offer with the oil feed line. You get 36 inches of dash 10 AN fittings on here, so you can actually maybe plumb this into the factory small block stuff on the Camaro if I choose to go that route. This is a 1.05 AR turbocharger. This turbo should support up to 600 horsepower. So this is actually a pretty good sized turbo to run on the Trans Am or on the Camaro. Now, what I do think is going to be interesting is putting it on the Camaro. After talking to the sales rep for a little while, it sort of got my wheels turning on maybe boosting this car. So let me know what you guys think about it. I'm going to need a little bit more info and have to do a whole bunch of homework, but I've done a little bit of thinking on it and doing some research, and it seems like pretty much any small block can take a few pounds of boost and probably be okay. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's a small block, it's carbureted, there's a T5, it's got a 10-bolt behind it. It's the least ideal thing to boost in the world. And you'd be 100% right, and I'm well aware of all that. But I think this could be an interesting build because nobody's doing small block stuff, especially with a T5 and a 10-bolt behind it. It could be a pretty cool build to put a blow-through carburetor on, intercool it, and to see if we can make a fun street car out of it. The goal of it wouldn't be to go out and set any records or do like crazy racing with it or anything, because I think that's a recipe to kill probably the T5 if anything, or maybe the small block, who knows. But I think it would really be in the spirit of the car for me because it's a very grassroots, DIY, on the cheap kind of build like I think a lot of people are watching it for. So I'm really thinking about boosting this car. If you think that's an interesting idea, drop a comment down below and tell me what you would do to actually boost it. A lot of people do a mount right up here by the battery compartment. There's a lot of ways you can do it, and I think this would make for a pretty interesting build and make for a really fun back road cruiser. So I don't have a solid plan with it yet, but if you think that would be interesting, definitely drop a comment down below. I've got the turbo for it. I think I'm probably going to be selling the Corvette, which means I'm going to have a little bit of money to throw at the car and actually put a decent hot and cold side in it and make sure that things are going to run good. Not only that, there's a dyno that's opening locally again where I'm going to be able to go and get it dyno tuned if I really want to take it to that level and make sure it's reliable and running good and safe and all that. Anyways, that's my tentative plan. It's probably a little bit crazy, but I think it would make for some really interesting content, and it's something that's not often done anymore. A lot of people just disregard the small block stuff and it's all LS based. A lot of people have also commented, LS swap it. Well, if you do that, to me it means you're gonna have a T56 behind it because it's a manual transmission car, and you're gonna wanna probably beef up the rear end because it's sort of like a Detroit speed thing that's going on right now with all these Irocs. But if I do all that, I've already got a car that's like that, the Firebird. I don't want two of them. So I think this would make a very interesting way to make power in a different way and still keep it kind of fun and hopefully on the cheap. So we'll see what that snowballs into. Like any project, you're gonna have a small budget in mind and spend 4 times as much. I know how all that stuff goes, but I think that's kind of what I'm gonna lean towards doing on with this car. Let me know what you think. It actually seems to be in really nice shape. All the machining is actually really nice on it. It's about a $200 turbo if you're gonna buy one of these. So what I was looking at seems to kind of exceed my expectations already. it sure seems like it's been assembled nice. There's markings on it from the machining and balancing and stuff, so it doesn't seem like you're getting a super crude turbo or anything. It comes with gaskets, it comes with a few other little things, but you can buy these in different levels of complete kits. They have a smaller turbo that comes as a complete kit, and this is obviously one of the bigger turbos that they're going to be offering, looking at their website, but it actually seems like you get your 200 bucks worth. So to me, if you're going to try to do a cheap turbo project, this is probably a good way to start, which is actually kind of fitting with what I'm looking to do with this car in the first place. So that's about all I've got to say about the turbo. It showed up in about a week after ordering it off of their website. If you want to check them out or just look at their website for yourself, check out MaXpeedingRods.com or check them out on Instagram. So there's a couple ways you can check out the products. They work with professional race car teams, so there's actually some real legit stuff that they're out supporting, and I'm happy to be part of it. So thanks to MaXpeedingRods for sending over the turbo. I'm very happy with it. If you guys watch the channel, I hope you know by now that I won't show anything on the channel that I'm not really interested in, or you know, if I say something's junky, I mean it's junky, or if it's good, I mean it's good. To me, this seems like it lives up to exactly what I expected, and it might be even a little bit nicer. So check out MaXpeedingRods if you're interested in something like that. They have all kinds of different products. Maybe find something for your car on their website. But enough about the turbo for now. One other thing that I feel is even more crucial than the turbo that I had show up for the Camaro is a set of cup holders. Now, if you have a third generation Camaro Firebird, you know very well that they do not come with factory cup holders of any shape or form. Now, with the aftermarket community and the advent of 3D printing, you can get them. They're out there. What we have here is an ashtray replacement cup holder that's 3D printed. This is made in the USA, and it's made by a third gen fan himself. You can find him on Instagram. It's made by Schipsoft. Here's a little thumbnail of his page. Definitely check it out if you like third gen content. This guy makes stuff for these cars in all sorts of variations. So if you have an automatic, manual transmission, or whatever it may be, you're gonna find something that can fit in the car. This is SR Schipsoft's ashtray replacement cup holder for third generation Camaros and Firebirds. He also offers a type of dual cup holder right here called the side holster. This will actually take two existing Torx bolts on the front passenger side of your center console and actually bolt right on top of them. It'll actually sandwich right into place there. You don't have to drill new holes or anything, and this is less than a 5-minute install for you to actually have cup holders that won't look entirely out of place on your car. So this looks pretty good. The finish is nice on it. As you can see, it's sort of a textured finish. The cup holders are loose in there, so if you don't want to hear any vibration going down the road, I'd imagine they're loose so you can take it out to clean it if need be. You could probably put a little piece of tape in there just to keep them from vibrating, which is probably what I'll do where you can't see it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go toss this in real quick. He offers this with a cigarette lighter adapter option. It's got a little flashlight holder here, so it's got a couple of neat features, and it'll give you enough space to put a big gulp in here or a regular sized can of soda or whatever you choose to drink while you drive. I'll go throw this in real quick. We'll try it out. There you have it. This should hopefully give you a little bit of a view of how it matches the rest of the trim. It's obviously newer plastic, so the match isn't 100% perfect, but if your interior is cleaner than mine, which it more than likely is, it's gonna match pretty good. My interior is a little bit faded, so I gotta give it a big thumbs up. It's a really good price for you to actually get cup holders that aren't, you know, hanging on your door. You're not driving with it between your legs anymore, or wherever you're hanging on to your cups when you're driving. This is going to be a good way to do it. It seems like those two screws are actually enough to make it mount pretty firmly in there, and overall I'm really happy with it. I think it's a good upgrade to any third gen Camaro Firebird. So this one fits in right here. The ashtray one does require some cutting, and we're going to try and make this one work in my car being a manual transmission, so more to come on that. But for now, I'm going to be running this side holster, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm thinking it's going to be just what I needed for the car. So enough on that. Check out SR Schipsoft. I'll put a link in the description for his cup holders as well. He's got a whole big selection of them. Also, give him a follow on Instagram. He's got photos of all of his products on there. He's a real nice guy to work with and talk to, and hopefully we can come up with something for the ashtray replacement for manual transmission cars. So there you have it, guys. That's kind of what I've been up to on the Camaro. I think I'm pretty much ready to take it to the next level in some way or another. Now, I said earlier in the video that I do want you guys' input on it, and I don't know how to put it to a vote or whatever, but maybe one or two of you will comment down below and you guys can give it a thumbs up to turbo it, or a thumbs up on another comment to not turbo it. I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on the comments. Now, I think it might be an interesting idea. It's going to be a different way to go about doing it. I can really picture like a blow-through carb and an intercooler and all sorts of cool stuff. I can make this thing look pretty sweet, and if I focus most of my time on this car, now that the Corvette's probably leaving the channel in the garage, I'm gonna have lots of time to put into it, and I think that'll be a good thing. So I've also got some more cool parts on the shelf right now that I got from a buddy on Instagram. He actually sent a couple of tubular front lower A-arms for the car, which are right here. He had these for a project. They're brand new. They've never been mounted, and I'm gonna put these on the car in one of the next couple of videos. And now that I have more time to focus on the Camaro, it's not gonna be in too long. So I've got a little arsenal of parts starting to accumulate again for it. Everything's driving great on it. I probably put 20 miles on it yesterday. The UMI performance suspension in the rear end of the car feels great. So that's all I got for today's video. Hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.